Very good morning to all. On behalf of E.G.S. Pillay Engineering College, the Department of Management Studies is very much glad to organize the alumni webinar on how to be industry ready. It's my pleasure to welcome the proud alumni of E.G.S. Pillay Engineering College and resource person of today's program, Ms. Shveta Vishwanath, AGM, Nippon Paint India Private Limited, Chennai. I welcome you, madam. I welcome our beloved Secretary, Chevalier Sri S. Parameshwaran sir, for encouraging us to organize a series of events like this. I welcome you, sir. I welcome our respected trustee, Sri S. Sankar Ganesh sir, for his continuous support in academic and non-academic activities. I welcome you, sir. I welcome our respected CEO, Dr. S. Chandrasekhar sir. I welcome our beloved principal, Dr. S. Rambalan sir. And I welcome all the faculty members and the students of E.G.S. Pillay Engineering College for this wonderful session. And the most important, I welcome all the professors, industry persons, research scholars, and students from various institutions as participants of this program. Once again, I welcome you all for this alumni webinar on how to be industry ready. And I'm really happy to introduce the resource person of this today's program. Our proud alumni, Ms. Shveta Vishwanath, today's speaker, was a chemical engineer from E.G.S. Engineering College from 1999-2003 batch, an university rank holder with PGPM in Marketing and Operations from Great Lakes Institutes of Management, Chennai from the Pioneer batch. She has more than 15 years of work experience in marketing and sales. She started her career through campus placement in Dubai, handling UAE and Oman as a customer trade marketing analyst. She handled 34 Indian brands, launched new Indian brands like Forever, Tata Salt, Santur, and ensured that the companies have gained a significant market share in retail outlets. She came back to India, worked as Senior Business Development Manager in Sodexo, French MNC for 9 years, handling sales for entire South, created a vertical and grew the business to 25 crores in just 2 years in Chennai alone. Later, she joined in Nippon Paint as divisional manager in late 2017, launched this new vertical for specifiers segment, launched in 24 cities in 1 year and enrolled 3,000 architects. Grew business from nil to 5 crores to 30 crores and now heading to 60 crores in 2.5 years and got promoted as AGM. She won the Marketing Excellence Award from President of Nippon and Excellence in Lean for Growth International Award, competing with 14 other countries across Asia. With a few words, once again I welcome Ms. Shveta to present the topic, how to be industry ready.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Truly an honor and privilege to be back to college. I take this opportunity to thank all of you, the management, Dr. Chandrasekhar sir, Ramabalan sir, Dr. Karthik, the director for MBA, for giving me this great opportunity to present to my college students, to my own college students and the industry professionals on this wonderful occasion. Thank you so much, sir. That was a great introduction. Once again, an honor. I humbly accept this invitation to present. In fact, before we start the presentation on how to be industry ready, I wanted to tell a Kutti story. So what brings me here? In fact, I passed out in 2003, right? So it's been like 17 years now. And suddenly what actually reminded me to come back to college and to take a session for the students is this small incident that happened a couple of years ago. And I've always been, ever since that incident happened, I always wanted to come back to college and take one session for the students, the current students. What happened was I had actually come on a personal trip to Karaikal. Having come to Karaikal, I couldn't miss the chance to visit a college, right? It's always great to be back in college. And then I was there at the entrance. I came there to check if my name was still there on the notice board. Like a small child, I was standing and, just staring at the notice board. And then there is this bunch of girls who had come. I didn't know that the engineering block has become an MBA block right now. And a bunch of girls came giggling and laughing, and they were just staring at me. And I was like, what really happened? They're like, who are you? எதுக்கு வந்திருக்கீங்க நீங்க? I said, I'm an alumni, I passed out. I'm your super senior. Oh, super senior. என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க இங்க? I said, nothing. I just came to see the notice board. என்னோட பேர் இன்னும் இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கறதுக்காக வந்தேன். And I was telling them, I have fond memories of the college. It's not just the education. It's not just the knowledge. It's not just the experience of engineering in this college that I've got, but I have also got my life partner from this college. So the memories are fantastic. And இதெல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கும்போது they asked me, okay, very nice to know that you are back in college, but இப்ப என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க? வேலை பண்றீங்களா? I said, yeah, I'm working. Then they asked me, என்ன வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க? Then I told them I'm at that point of time I was divisional manager. So I told them I'm a divisional manager at Nippon Paint. They were surprised, and they were saying, நம்ம காலேஜ்ல படிச்சுட்டு இவ்ளோ பெரிய இடத்துல வேலை பண்றீங்களா? I said, பெரிய இடமான்னு தெரியாது, but why this feeling that நம்ம காலேஜ்ல படிச்சுட்டு? Of course, everybody from this college has grown, and everybody from our college is successful today. So what made you actually think like that? And then I realized, I could see those girls. They're so innocent. They were so naive, because this is how I was 17 years ago. So there comes a question. We are all enjoying our college life. We are all having fun. We really don't know what future has in store for us. So once we move out of college is when we actually get to face the real life, right? And are we ready to face the real life scenario? Are we ready? Are we competitive enough? Are we confident enough to actually go and start working from day one? Let's see what are the skills that are required to be industry ready. And before I start the presentation, I want to start with a question. Are you all able to see the slide? Is everyone able to see the slide? Okay, I assume it's a yes. All right. So I want to start with the question. Are you industry ready? Those who are in their final year of MBA and the students of engineering, if at all they are a part of today's session, are you industry ready? What are the skills that you require to be industry ready? See, we all are assuming, that the moment we get an offer, we get a job and a good salary, that's it. I'm going to somehow survive. I'm going to somehow sustain in this company. But that's not the case. You really have to be well prepared. The company has recruited you because they have found that you have the right skill to work in that organization, and they cannot wait for you to settle down, because they expect you to start working from day one. And what is that skill that is required? Of course, you are from the best college. You have learned a lot of skills, the hard skills on how to manage a particular job, how to run a company, or how to some technical skills, training, software training, hardware training, this course, that course. So you're fully equipped with knowledge when you join a company. But what is important and what will make you stand apart is you need to be different. You need to be outstanding. And only the outstanding student or outstanding candidate gets recognized. And how to be outstanding is you really have to get uncomfortable, and you have to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. So make it a habit, because if you have to be outstanding, you have to keep changing. You have to adapt to the change. You have to learn skills every day. It cannot be that you are an engineer, you are an MBA, and then you go to work and then you start working from day one. Adu nadakadu. You have to be ready to change every day, and you have to be uncomfortable all the time. Uncomfortable when I'm saying you should be ready to change, and only then can you be outstanding in your role. And Outstanding is not a big rocket science. It's just about being better than what you were yesterday. You are someone today. So tomorrow, be sure, make sure that you have done something better to be proud of the next day. So that's all is required to be outstanding. You don't have to all of a sudden come and make a drastic change in your way of life or your thought process. Nothing is going to change overnight, but something can change. So here comes the main agenda of the presentation today. We all know that hard skills, the technical skills, your knowledge, whatever you learned in college and your experience is going to help you in managing your work at your workplace. But is that enough? Is that really enough if you have all the technical expertise? I don't think so. Because I'm today I'm going to share my experience on what all I learned from my mistakes. And you really are a privileged group, because you are getting to hear from the alumni of the college on their experiences, and you should make use of this experiences that we are sharing, because we have learned from our mistakes. We have learned from what we were supposed to do and we didn't do, and how we managed and how we survived and how we have learned from the past experiences. So if I was a university rank holder and then I did my MBA from Great Lakes, I went straight to work at Dubai. That was a campus placement. Even before I could complete my education, my exams, I went to Dubai and I got placed there. And I thought that I'm an industry, I have complete knowledge of the industry and I'm going to rock it. But what happened when I joined the very first day? I was clueless. I was lost. It's an international organization. I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know. I was just wishing everyone. I was so tensed. I didn't know. It took me around 2 to 3 months to figure out why I was there. I was so scared. I was thinking, did I make a wrong decision? People are so hi-fi here. Things are so advanced. People are so complex. They don't talk to each other. People are so focused on work. How am I going to manage? What happened to all that I learned in college? What happened to the university, the MBA from Great Lakes, one of the best institutes in the country? Does it really help? 3 months, and I was like, I'm going to run back. I'm going to go back home. I already started feeling homesick. I was just 21 years then. And so many people, so much of criticism. You have people from different countries being there, and they judge you. They start observing you. They start looking at you. So what is important is you need to develop soft skills, is what I understood from day one, which is something which is not being taught in any college, which will not be easily taught in any classroom. It cannot be measured. These are the skills which need to be developed within. Nobody can teach you these skills. Are you interested to know which are those skills? Okay, so we all are good. We are all smart people. We are all educated people. And we all will definitely, by God's grace, get a good career. And I wish all of you to get a good career in your life. But if you have to put your career on the fifth gear and completely accelerate and throttle it, these are the 12 soft skills that you definitely would require to succeed in your current role. ரொம்ப 12 skillsனோனே ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளெக்ஸா ரொம்ப இதுவா யோசிக்காதீங்க. This is something that people have naturally, and I just wanted to highlight in the 12 skills கொஞ்சம் importance கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா you can be very successful in your career and you will be ready from day one. Learnability. As students, we learn a lot of things, and we all are, we learning. There's no age for learning. We keep learning things. But the illiterate person of the 21st century is not the one who just knows to read and write. I mean, the illiterate person is, according to the 21st century, the person who cannot read and write is still an illiterate Why? Because it's not enough. You need to learn, you need to unlearn, and then relearn. So today you are an MBA graduate, you're an engineering graduate, you're going to an industry, and then you start working, and then you are very adamant that, I will only do what I learned in my engineering. I will not be ready to. I'm not ready to learn. I'm not open to learn new skills. That's not the way. You will still be considered as an illiterate if you're not ready to unlearn. So it's equally important to unlearn what you learned and learn new skills, relearn. So this is something that you will learn once you start working. And in an environment like this where the skills, as fast as they emerge, they fade. Success is about what you already know and adapting your skills to the growing and expanding knowledge base to handle the situation. So what you need to learn is, there is no specific curriculum. There's no module like how we have in a college, chapter 1, chapter 2. It's not like that. You have to learn whatever the situation demands. If a situation comes, if a challenge comes before you, how are you going to address that challenge? You need to quickly unlearn whatever you have in your mind and adapt yourself to the new challenge. And this could happen even from day one. It happened to me. Resilience. As the picture indicates what resilience is all about. When if everybody goes through failures, right? Our life is like a sine curve. All of you know what's a sine curve? You have ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. Everybody's life will go through this. Imagine if life was not like this, if this is a lifeline, and if your life didn't go like this and it was just this, it means that you're dead, right? So accept whatever comes your way, because your life will have ups and downs, and that is what life is all about. Setbacks and failures are a part of life, but how you choose to deal with it is what is very, very important, and that particular quality is called resilience. You need to be absolutely resilient, because then you start focusing on the long term goals. When you're thinking that, if I do this, I will fail, I will be embarrassed. Oh my God, should I even take this risk? What will happen? People will humiliate me like anything. Apri mentioned, now you will never be able to take risk. If you have to take risk, you have to be resilient. And when you become resilient, you start looking at the long term goal. You don't look at the short term failures. And this is what will take you to success. So, by helping you face challenges and difficulties, resilience enables you to handle stress more positively. So, through this, you actually develop this quality to become more positive. So, once you handle a challenge, once you handle a particular failure, you know what not to do. You have learned from your mistakes. And then bouncing back to normal life is what resilience is all about. Please stop me anywhere that you are not able to understand this concept, because this is something which may not be available to you as a content, as a course, anywhere. So this is purely my experience that I'm sharing with you. And as a alumna of E.G.S. Pillay, I would definitely like to personally mentor anybody who's interested as well. So please stop me and please post your questions on anything that you have to agree and also to disagree with me. Moving on, so the next important skill is agility. What is agility? See, you are working very, very briskly in a particular scenario. You're working so hard, you're going on working. What happens is, all of a sudden, the entire landscape that you're working shifts, and you continue to do what you're doing. And you are using this solution of yesterday to work and solve a problem today. You cannot move any further. So agility is the ability to move as the landscape, the place where you're working, the scenario that you're working in, as it shifts, you also have to shift. If you are stuck to that place, and if you're not ready to shift gears and move along with the changing scenario, we will be lost. One big example, another big mistake that I did in my life, but that helped me to move up the ladder, was, I worked in Dubai. I worked for almost 2.5 years. I came back to India. I joined Sodexo. Sodexo is such a wonderful company. It's a French MNC, very limited hours of work. Initial 1 or 2 years, I was like trying to understand the market, but then I understood that um, it was quite easy. Sales was coming to me naturally, and I was able to achieve my numbers just like that. So I had a target of 5 crores, 1 crore in the first year. I overachieved. Then 5 crores, 10 crores, 15 crores. So I kept achieving these numbers, and little did I realize that I've spent almost 8 years, 9 years in this organization because I was very, very comfortable. I was getting my incentives, I was getting a amazing pay. Then, I took time to get married, to settle down, to have my kid, and enjoy the motherhood, very comfortable doing what I was doing. What happened one fine day? Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, there is a lot of money laundering happening, and let's ban gift vouchers. So what I was handling in Sodexo was the gift voucher segment, where I had to sell gift vouchers to the clients, give them gifting solutions. All of a sudden, the gift voucher business was called off, and the CEO, my CEO, was a French guy then. So he came down to Chennai and he said, Shveta, you have been of great value add to the organization. You are a consistent performer. You have been the employee of the year consistently for 3 years. But you need to change. Unfortunately, we are dissolving this vertical, so you will have to move to meal vouchers. I was like, sorry, but I want to continue doing what I'm doing, and I can still achieve these numbers. He said, Shweta, yes, the gift voucher business is not there anymore, but you, of course, we are coming up with gift cards, but we want you to handle mail vouchers. I said, sir, okay. I was very unwilling because, first of all, I have to start something new in the same company where I worked for 9 years. I was eligible for a promotion. I was supposed to become the deputy general manager then. But then the promotion didn't happen, and all of a sudden, this gift voucher getting banned, I was lost. I didn't realize that the landscape that I was working in has completely shifted. But I was continuously doing, I was happily doing what I was doing. I didn't even predict something like this will happen. I was devastated because I had to go and start work from rock bottom, from zero. I was just thinking, I had this ability. I didn't know that I was agile. I'm a sports person. I'm an athlete. So this was there in me, and it was sleeping all the while. So when a situation like this happened, I realized that yes, it is a time to change. Why should I start a new activity or a new work profile in the same old company where I have not been recognized? All of a sudden, when the landscape changed, I'm going back to square one. What happens to all the efforts? What happens to all the achievements I've done in the last 9 years? That really shook me, and that actually inspired me to look out for opportunities. I kept a target for myself that next 1 month I'm going to get the best of the offer. Within a month, I had 5 offers on hand. I didn't realize that I was capable of getting 5 offers. Every interview that I was attending, I was getting selected. Thanks to Sodexo, I definitely will not forget the experience they have given me because I was in sales. When you're in sales, you know how to handle, right? You meet CEOs, you meet CFOs, you meet chairmen, and you know how to behave now. So because these are the soft skills that I have imbibed during my experience. I use these skills, and then I was fearless about attending any interview. I just used to go attend, get selected. And then I had 5 offers, and Nippon was one of them. But before choosing Nippon, I actually chose Reliance Mutual Fund. Why? I'll tell you in the next slide. So be ready, be agile, because you have that ability in you. We all have that. We all have this adrenaline gush, and when the dog chases you, you know your potential, right? How fast you can run. So you need to have that kind of agility, my dear friends, which is very, very important. And then again, this is very, 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 very important collaboration. In other words, you can call it the teamwork. A lot of us are very nice people, very, very simple, very down to earth, very humble people. and ரொம்ப சமத்து. That's what we claim ourselves to be, right? We are very very happy doing what we are doing. We like to work alone. If they give us a task, we will immediately get into it from day one and start completing, write on what all is pending for the day and start completing the task. You'll just work for yourself. You'll not ask anybody for any help. You will then work in silos. Friends, this is not the way, because the world is so complex. The world is so complex, and the work is so getting so very complex that it will not be enough for you to work in silos. When I'm saying silos, it means now yeah, value I will not interfere, I will not ask for help. That will not help. That will not take you any further, which is a mistake I did, because when I went to Dubai and started working, by now I had learned how to start working, how to behave with colleagues. But I didn't know that I'm supposed to ask people for help. I was struggling. I was working 15 hours a day. I didn't want to show that, I have certain inhibitions. I didn't want to show that I do not have certain skills. I do not understand certain technology. What will people will ridicule me? Yeah, come on, I'm campus placement. I'm a management trainee from a prestigious college, from a prestigious engineering college. So I'm not going to ask anybody for help. So yeah, I was continuously doing what I was doing. But then I realized that I was a fool, because people are ready to help. People are ready to help. All you have to do is collaborate with them. You do me this, I'm going to help you with this. And it is their duty, it's not their obligation. It's not that you are asking them for a favor. We all are working for one organization. If we do not have a certain skill, if we are not able to handle a particular scenario, I will ask people, and I will write a mail to the top management saying that I need help from so and so, because I'm stuck here, and I feel that this particular person has got the eligibility and he's got the skills to help me. I will ask. And I started asking. And today, that's how we have to survive. Dear friends, I say this again and again, never work in silos. You have to work in collaboration. Teamwork is very, very important. Why? Because it's not just that they help you solve these complex situations, but you can also come out with a greater output. I do not have expertise in event planning, so I was very good in the role that I was doing. I was always going and meeting limited vendors. Suddenly, I realized that my colleague who's handling event management, I asked this help. So he said, Shveta, you know what? There's a virtual event that the agency has come up with. Why don't you try that? Why do you just want to do a Zoom kind of a thing where you just see the faces of people? Why don't you give that experience? He said that, and I was like, wow, I never knew something like this has come in. Satish, can you please help me out? And then I got him. So what happened is my scale of the event has got even bigger. Otherwise, it would have been just a Zoom or a webinar jam. So, but what we did was, taking his expertise, I was able to create a virtual event experience to my stakeholders, to the people who are participating, to the leading architects who are a part of this event. So then you up the scale of the event, you up the scale of the activity that you're doing, right? So it is important, friends, to work in collaboration with your colleagues, with your friends, with industry experts, with anybody whom you know in the industry. Ask them for support. People are ready to help. Then comes the verbal communication. Okay, this is where everybody gets stuck, but this is definitely important. When I say verbal communication, it needn't necessarily mean that you have to have excellent flair of English, excellent communication, perfect language, perfect grammar. Needn't be the case always. What you need to do is you need to be very clear, crisp in what you're trying to communicate, because without communication, it's not going to help. So even if your language is bad, even if you're shy to communicate, develop that skill. Be clear. You don't have to talk big sentences. You don't have to show off. You don't have to use complicated words, jargons. Use Panamana. You have to be very, very clear, simple. This is what I would like to do. I need your help. and this is a plan that I have. This is the ROI that is expected from this activity. Can you help me, or can you advise me on what needs to be done if we have to close this deal? So either Madhi, very, very simple languages can help you go a long way. So yes, so it says you'll have to use strong verbal communication skills so that you can sell others on your ideas, products, or services. This is important, right? Especially when you're in marketing, being an MBA grad, you need to sell your ideas to the company, because you would definitely be having a brilliant idea, but how will you communicate that to your management? You need to be very clear. So you need to plan it well. When earlier I used to go and say, sir, this is an idea, sir, can we do this? And then I was trying to figure out how to convince him. And then, Shweta, I'm very busy. Can you come back later? The same idea changed my life in Nippon Paint, because I had this idea to launch something like this in Sodexo, an engagement program for the specifiers, for the architects, because the industry, nobody is able to launch a successful program for the specifiers. I had this idea. I couldn't communicate it well in Sodexo. But when I joined Nippon Paint and I knew that they have recruited me for this idea, I started planning my communication. So it is not just enough to give an idea. Your idea has to sell. The management has to buy your idea because they're going to invest in it, for which the verbal communication is very important. When I say verbal communication, it's not just a sentence, but it is identifying the problem solution, giving the solution, and also showing them how to do, and also showing that in the next few years, what would be the ROI. You need to work it out completely. So whenever you go with a proposal, you should be very clear in what you're presenting. Just an idea will not help. You need to show them how that idea is going to be planned. How is it going to transform into that activity, and what is that activity going to add value to the company, and what is the ROI. So this is a communication that you need to start talking. And this will come by experience. Of course, I was very bad in communication. I used to shiver the moment I was about to log in. I was still shivering because I've done thousands of presentations, but it's coming back to college, right? College, nale, and the tension, that fear when you're addressing students will be there, but you have to overcome that. And how will that come? Is by practice and by experience, but keep practicing, and I'm sure you can definitely evolve. And then whenever you're needing to explain your value, when you're being considered for a promotion, also you need to communicate, because bosses have this ability to forget, right? But my boss is little different. He has a critical diary. So anything, any achievements that we do, he tends to write it, and I have imbibed this habit from him, because I have a team of over 50, 60 people across the country. What I do is, any great achievements of the team, then I tend to make a note of it in my critical diary. So it comes handy when I'm doing their appraisal. I suggest that you also do that, but and write down all the achievements that you have done for the year. And then when it comes to the appraisal, the review that you have with your boss, you can have those skills written down to explain. Prepare your communication well, saying that, sir, I started this year, I achieved so much. These are my achievements. These are the new challenges that I have faced, and these are the problems that I've identified and given solutions to. And these are my achievements. You should be able to communicate it well. Only then they will consider you for promotion. So verbal communication is not just enough for people in sales and marketing, but it is in absolutely required for people in any job profile, because you have to sell your ideas. You need to sell yourself, and you need to ensure that you are promoted within the organization. So please develop your verbal communication. It will happen over time, but keep practicing. Moving on, like I said, verbal communication, written communication is also very important. Why? Because everything today, we live in a world of an era of tweets, sound bites, um, whatnot. Instagram, Facebook, we write amazing posts. We click selfies and post, our travel experience. We write a lot of things. So a lot of others keep wondering, எப்படி இந்த பையன் இந்த பொண்ணு இவ்ளோ எழுதுறாங்க, எங்க இருந்து எழுதுறாங்க, how do they have the skills? So we have always admired that, right? It is very important. You need to write, you need to have the ability to write stories. You need the ability to write a beautiful concept. You have to be very clear in your communication. Even if you're not very strong in verbal communication, this will help you a long way, because when you write a mail, today it's all about mails. Everything, and 80% of my work gets done through emails. So when we write a mail, and then you check whether you have addressed them properly, whether you have communicated what you wanted to. You need to think from the manager's perspective. The long mail that you've written, does it convey whatever you want to convey, and is it good enough for the manager, for the boss to understand what you're trying to convey? Read from the manager's perspective, and then you will know what all is missing. The management is not interested to know what all the client is ready to offer, um, but to know what are the results, right? So what is the bottom line? That has to be communicated clearly. So written communication, you have to understand very, because it's very important to communicate with clients, with vendors, with anybody, and even within the own organization. You'll need to learn to write mails. It's not rocket science. You just, like I said, whatever you have written, go through it, ask somebody to read it. If somebody is good in writing mails, even today I do that. Even today I do that. I have a girl who's very good in writing stories. So if I have to sell a particular proposal, if I have to sell this concept internally and I have to write a big mail to my boss, and he will simply reply no. So then I write again, convincing him. So this time I will ask my friends, come here, have a look. Is it okay? Have I conveyed everything that I wanted to convey? They said, Shweta, they are juniors. It's okay. It's okay to learn from them. Be open. And then when they say, no, Shweta, this particular sentence is misguiding, then I try to remove that sentence. You need to be open. You need to ask people for help, and then slowly you can improve your communication, written as well as verbal. But it is very important. Empathy is not just required for work, but it is required for every human being. And if you are an empathetic person, I'm proud to say that I'm a very empathetic person, because I understand, if even if I have to say no to a particular vendor who's been trying so hard, I empathize with him. I give him the equal opportunities to present his case again, because I know that a particular vendor has worked so hard. So there have been scenarios where, I almost finalized the engagement program with a leading industry expert, the company who is number one in loyalty solutions. I went and I was almost about to sign the deal. And then the small time vendor came up saying, Shweta, can you give us one opportunity, just one opportunity? Please delay the approval by one more day. I said, why should I give you this opportunity? Because I already am losing time, and you are a small player, you're just new in the industry, and I'm also new in the company. I cannot risk. This was the fear that I had initially. And they said, Shweta, please give us an opportunity. I'm like, okay. See, there is an event which is coming up on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is for the architects. Why don't you come and understand what architecture is all about, and what do architects actually want? What do these engineers actually want? Can you come and do a research on those 3 days? And then I was there. We did an event at Anna University, and then we had students, people expert coming in. I was the only one from Nippon Paint, because my sales team didn't bother to join me, because I was also a little new. They didn't want to spoil their Saturdays and Sundays. But this agency, this vendor came, and they spent 3 full days with me in that particular event, trying to understand what is the expectation of the customer. And then after 3 days, they came with a beautiful presentation, and they actually won the deal, because once I saw the presentation, once I saw their hard work, their inputs, I started empathizing with them. And I told them, see, I'm ready to give you this deal, but I want 3 dedicated resources. Can you give me that? And then they said, why not, Shweta? This was something I was not getting from the industry expert. They said, I'm based out of Bombay. I'll just come only 1 hour. I don't have the time, only 1 hour I can work with you. But what actually happened, because I was able to empathize with that vendor, able to give them another chance. Today, my program is successful. My success, I would dedicate 80% of my success to this hardworking team. And they are my team, they are my family. I don't treat them like vendors, I treat them like my own sisters. They're a bunch of girls who can do anything for me, anything for the program. So, empathy is a very important skill. I'm still expecting a lot of questions. I don't see any questions in the chat box. Okay, we'll try to answer that. Creativity goes without saying. You need to be creative. You definitely need to be creative. And it's a crucial skill because in fast changing times, employers value employees who can look beyond the present and imagine the future possibilities. If you have to imagine the future possibilities, you have to be at your creative best. So creativity la or taniya, don't see that, suddenly this is you when creativity is about another person or creative person is someone else. It is there within us. We just have to think as a management. Okay, so this is a problem. This is a scenario. How am I going to handle it? Eppadi pannalam? What else? How else can I do it? Why not try something out like this? This is going to simplify. And that idea, why not? Why can't I do it? Either Madhi, when you ask questions, is when you will get more creative ideas. And again, it's important to have verbal communication and written communication to be able to communicate your ideas and solutions to the management. So always keep asking why not? Why can't I do it? What will happen if I do it? What is a big risk? Keep asking these questions. That will definitely help you in being different from the rest of the people, and that will help you to be very competitive. That's what companies are looking for. Problem solving. Oh God, we already have so many problems in our curriculum, in our books, maths, this, that, engineering. There are so many things, problems. We hate problems, right? But a problem solving skill, yes, you need to solve your problem to get a pass mark. Similarly, in life, also, you need to have problem solving skills. If you go to the management with a problem, they will see you as someone who is incapable. You are not able to handle, you are not able to even give a solution to the problem. So what they expect you to do is when you go to them with a problem, have solution 1, 2, 3. So this is a problem, it's genuinely a problem, it's going to be devastating. Things can change, everything can go, it can be a huge loss if we do not address this problem. But I have solutions. Solution 1, solution 2, solution 3. If you are scared to tell the management, if you have foreseen a problem, you will definitely foresee a problem because it's you who's working on that particular assignment. Excuse me. So it's you who's working on that particular assignment, and you will definitely foresee a problem. So when you foresee a problem, don't hide it. Don't tend to be scared to share it with the management. It will backfire like anything. If you have seen a problem, immediately highlight that. But when you highlight it, don't keep complaining. Sir, I joined here. This person is not giving report. He is not helping me. Sir, the salesperson is not going. Sir, I'm not getting this on time. Sir, I don't have the fund. If you say this, just imagine, are you not irritated the moment I said all this to you because you're listening as an audience? Sir, there is a problem, sir, but don't worry. I have a solution. I have an agency. I have a vendor who can handle this. We have a deadline of 2 days, and this person can deliver this in the next 2 hours. But he's little expensive. I have another vendor who can deliver this in the next 24 hours. He's relatively cheaper. But do we want to take that risk? Is it okay to spend that little bit extra to ensure that everything is streamlined today? These are the solutions that you need to offer to the management. All right. So problem solving skills is extremely important, and employers value this skill a lot. Leadership. Leadership goes without saying, right? It's not leadership is not just about saying you do this, you do that. Okay, very good job, amazing. It's not just about that. It's not even about achieving success and taking up a particular role and achieving success. Leadership is not just about that. You need to empower people. you need to inspire them, you need to bring the change, and you need to share the vision of your project with them. And leaders are those who are able to create people like themselves in the organization. So when Shveta moves out of this role, I will have two Shvetas with the same skill set, with the same knowledge to replace me. And then that is what the management looks for. And that is what, see, I have recruited interns. I had recruited interns from a management institution. And I had given a lot of, I just told her one thing, you have to, she asked me, what is that I need to do, Shweta? I said, you have to do everything that I'm doing. You need to learn. So tomorrow I'm not there. You should be able to handle situations. So I took this girl on board. I trained her, and that was in the next few months. I had to launch my program. What happened was my husband, my dear husband, had already booked a vacation for me to the Europe. So I couldn't change anything. The launch date got delayed, and it was overlapping with my tour. It was overlapping in the sense I had to finish off all these things. The days that I was traveling, I had to complete everything before that, because as soon as I come back from Europe was the launch, and I had to stick to that because that's a deadline given by the management. But since I was able to lead, I was able to train this particular girl, the intern. She was coordinating with me every day. So morning, even when I was on the road trip in Europe, I used to still call her. I got seamless internet connectivity, and I used to work morning 2 hours. I used to get early and work and solve this, and she was able to handle everything that I was doing. So I was so glad that I had created someone who can do things exactly the way I want. And today she has got promoted, and she has moved to handle a different vertical altogether. And the management is very happy with me because they know that Shweta is not one to feel jealous. She will definitely encourage new talent. She is the one who identified that this girl will suit this role. She has trained her, and now we have this girl as another good resource to handle another vertical. So whoever comes to her, she will be able to train them. This is the confidence that the management has developed now. So they have given me the permission to go and take interns left, right, and center, and to develop them and to contribute to this current role. So it is very, very important. When I say I am sharing my experience, I'm also sharing the stories of my failures. So it's not about, I had to share this experience because only then people can relate to it better. Negotiation, again, and this is a skill which is not just required for somebody in sales or marketing, but it is required every time, because when you negotiate your salary, you need to negotiate it right. So you need to have good negotiation skills, even with your child, even with your friends, even with your girlfriends, or even with your boyfriends. You need to negotiate a lot of things before you get married. So negotiation skill is very, very important. And there are it's a huge topic. I would not be able to do any justice if I can explain negotiation in just the few minutes that's given to me. But effective negotiation skills are very, very important, because that will help you get and sign the best deals in the best budget available. So again, to quote an example from the current work scenario that I do, the budget that was assigned to me initially was, I'm from the reward industry, right? So I was handling rewards. So what the industry norm was for an architect engagement program was 7 to 8 crores annual spend. Okay, so this was not available with most of the companies. And then Nippon Paint had recruited me because I had this experience, and they wanted me to start a similar program in their company. I joined, and then I started scouting for vendors who give me a budget of who can do this job in a budget of 4 to 5 lakhs. 7 to 8 lakhs was the industry norm. Then I started negotiating for 4 to 5 lakhs. Sorry, 4 to 5 crores. And then I brought this to the management, and they said, Shweta, 4 to 5 crores is too high. We do not have that kind of a budget. Sir, I asked them, what is the best budget? They said, I don't know. You have to figure out something. Then I scouted for more vendors and brought it down to 1 crore and said, so happy that, sir, 1 crore is the budget, sir, for running this program. 1 crore? Shweta, are you kidding? We don't have that kind of a budget, because my boss was very good in negotiation. He was trying to negotiate with me, trying to convince me. What are the deliverables? Shweta, what is this? Where do we have 1 crore? I'm like, sir, please tell me what is the budget. I'm clueless. I need to launch. I need to finalize a vendor. No, Shweta, you have to come to me with 3 proposals. Yeah, okay. Then I decided, okay, I will get a proposal from a vendor for 1 crore, 80 lakhs, and 60 lakhs. Then I spoke to the vendors. I got a proposal, and then I went to the management. I said, sir, so as you said 1 crore, I've got it for 60 lakhs. So these are the deliverables. Can we go ahead? 60 lakhs? Are you kidding? Shweta, I was expecting you to, to get it to the bare minimum. I don't even have half of this budget. That's when he gave me an indication. Okay, so he doesn't have, I do not have a budget of even 60 lakhs. So he said half. So 30 lakhs. Okay. So who are those vendors? Yeah, I mean, I can only give opportunities to newcomers. And that's when you remember the empathy that I had with the newcomers. This is where it came into use. Then I said, okay. So newcomers, 30 lakhs, I started talking to them. Then I said, sir, newcomer in the industry, 30 lakhs, existing players, 60 lakhs, and the best of the players in the industry expert is charging us 1 crore. They said, "Shweta, 30 lakhs, sir. Didn't I tell you that we don't have, but what are the deliverables?" I said, sir, beyond this, I cannot reduce. No, tell me what are the deliverables. So these are the deliverables. Okay, I do not want this. Can I ask them to reduce it to 25 lakhs? I said, so I just started laughing. I said, sir, please tell me what is the final budget. I have almost discounted 20 vendors in this process. He said, Shweta, no, yeah, you have to do something. Then you know what I did? I finally brought it down to 20 lakhs. And I said, sir, that's it. Otherwise, I'm not doing this. Please give this to somebody else because I don't have a face in the market. How much? From 8 crores to 20 lakhs. He said, can you do anything better, Shweta? And then I will sign the deal. So finally, I requested the vendor. I told them that you are getting the deal. You are a new person. This is the first chance. So let's close it at 19 lakhs. And I told, sir, beyond this, please do not ask me or you please handle it yourself. He was so happy, and he was so proud. And this particular activity, though I was cursing my boss so much for putting me into so much of embarrassment, this helped me in achieving the Lean for Growth Award when I competed with 14 other countries in Asia. Lean for Growth is the program which is handled in the lowest budget. So my boss was actually planning to get me this award, and that's when he was pushing me for this because he knew that I had the potential to negotiate. So this skill is very important. Moving on, technology, which is the last skill. So all of you can be relieved. Technology, I'm sure all of you are much advanced with technology. But like I said, technology keeps changing every day, right? So when don't be complacent, don't be complacent saying that yes, I know everything on what's going on and I know what's the best technology, but you need to keep learning new technology because the more you learn, the more you can use it in your work and the more you can differentiate yourself. And I would like to end the presentation with one last slide, which says, regardless of what career path you choose, building your soft skills is very critical. And this can help you set yourself apart in this highly competitive landscape. And this is where you can be outstanding. And this is where you will be industry ready. So thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I am extremely glad to take questions. I felt that I was talking to myself because I couldn't see anybody. Was it pretty okay, the presentation, sir?
Yeah, your presentation is such a wonderful presentation, mind blowing, and you have
Thank you.
covered almost all the 12 essential skills which are required when the person approaches an industry. Such a beautiful explanation you have given, and
Thank you.
in feedbacks, a lot of appreciation we are receiving about your presentation. Probably you can see, I think, and also we received a few questions from the participants, and
Yes.
almost you have covered that you have given answers already from your 12 skills. Whatever the questions they have raised, you have given answers, but still, I just read out what are the questions asked by the
Sure, sure.
participants, right?
Yes.
Maybe the question is how to be creative in industry.
Okay. Very, very important. Like I said, who has asked that question, sir? Is it a girl or a
Yeah,
boy?
it's a Madhumita. It's a girl. It's a
Madhu.
Madhumita.
Hi, Madhu. um, Madhu, I'm very, very sure that you have this creativity inborn in you. We are extremely creative people. So creativity is all about asking questions. Why? How can I handle this better? What is the next best solution? So the more you ask questions, you will find out answers to those questions, and that will make you more creative. So think, when we say think out of the box, is nothing. It's just about you have a problem. When everybody is saying it's a problem, you take a step backwards and then think, and this is a problem, but it's not going to be forever. I can solve it. So what is required for this? Have plan A, plan B, plan B, and then you will come up with very beautiful, innovative solutions, and the management will appreciate you for that. So creativity is not something which is outside, but keep asking why to yourself. You will tend to be more creative. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and one more question is Mr. Krishna Kumar, and the question is how to develop the leadership quality in industry. Already you have
Great.
given answer for that, but still a question is in the chat box.
Yes, sir. So leadership skill is giving the person importance, giving training them with the skills that you have, grooming them up to replace you in the organization. Once you groom people to replace you in the organization, it don't feel threatened, because they are not going to kick you out of your job. I will not share my experience. I will not teach this person, because if she becomes better than me, then I will lose my job. Only insecure people have have that kind of a feeling. You have to give them all the knowledge that you have to the person, because they are going to help you solve. So tomorrow you can go on a vacation and you can just relax, because that person is going to handle your job. So that's when you become a true leader. Just encourage them, motivate them, give them the power, remove that hierarchy. I don't have any hierarchy in my team. I treat them like my family, I treat them like my own sisters. Like, and that's when you and encourage them. And like a new intern has joined who is little slow, compared to the other intern, and they have been, my own people are saying, Shweta, I think we should, let's not waste time, let's move this person out. I said, if we ask this person to leave, we are killing his confidence. This is his very first corporate assignment. I can see that he is little slow, but he has got something different about himself. So I said, I'm not going to ask this guy to leave. Even if I have to spend extra 1 hour with this guy, I'm going to train this guy. And today, just today, he has texted me saying that, ma'am, I've got a 25 lakh square feet paintable area lead. He has spoken to a couple of architects, and he has got me a 25 lakh square feet paintable area as a lead, which is a huge business, from a person whom my team had ruled off, saying he's not fit. Today I encouraged him. We all gave him a standing ovation in the meeting. So this is important to create leaders. And you don't have to be insecure because they're not going to take away your job. That
Yeah,
that does that answer the questions?
yeah. And
Yeah.
one more question from Tamil Chelvi, and she asked a question: how to connect with people effectively?
Yes. Tamil Selvi, is that my friend Tamil Selvi? I'm not sure. Okay. So how to connect effectively with people, like I said, is you need to be three important skills. You need to be empathetic. You need to understand what that person actually wants, what would benefit the both of us. It is very important to be empathetic, and it is very important to have the verbal skills to mainly empathy. See, if you're able to connect with a person, and if you do it wholeheartedly, if you do anything wholeheartedly, you can instantly connect with the person, more than anything else. So I would say empathy is a very important skill for that.
Yeah, and one more question, which is it's from Banu. So, how to
Yes.
gain more industry knowledge?
Okay. How to gain more industry knowledge is to work in the industry,
Yeah,
to work and then gain that knowledge. Because I am also like you, Banu. I was also like you. I had zero knowledge. The very first assignment that I got was an international assignment, um, and had no knowledge, but I had to gain that knowledge. I was resilient, So even while working, if you fail, it's okay. It's okay. Learn from your mistakes and move on. So that's where you get your industry knowledge. Keep attending a lot of webinars. This scenario is the most productive time. You can connect with people from across the world. So make use of this time. Attend a lot of webinars. Listen to people who have, even if you do not have experience, listen, and how to. That will give you an idea of how to be industry ready and how to learn about what's happening in the industry. Okay, a lot of
Yeah.
questions around that, I think.
Only one question.
Yes, sir.
Right. This is a question, Professor G.T. Samuel Devadas.
Yes,
He raised a question in North Indians, most scholars using Hindi.
yes,
How it is for India, especially Tamil Nadu people? Because if they are in industry, they are using Hindi, no? So if they are working in an organization, they used to speak in Hindi. But what
yes.
about our Tamil people? No? It will be very difficult for them to work when most of the people are working, talking in Hindi. So,
Yes. It's a very, very important question, and definitely a big challenge for people from Tamil Nadu. I luckily my second language is Hindi, and my parents, my dad is from Chhattisgarh, Billai. Though we are Tamilians, but they settled in Chhattisgarh, Billai for almost 60 years, more than 60 years. They have been living in Billai, so my Hindi is very fluent. But what I've seen is other colleagues of mine do have a challenge. Today, I'm able to take up a pan India role because when I go to Indore, places like Indore, Raipur, or Rajasthan, Jaipur, Hindi is very, very critical. Without Hindi, because they are not very good in English. Even the leading architects in Raipur, Indore, they're not very good in English. They expect you to present completely in Hindi. In fact, I was surprised because when I went to Ghaziabad to give a training induction to my team there in Ghaziabad, I spoke for almost 1 hour, and then suddenly one guy raised his hand and said, "Ma'am, आप हिंदी जानते हैं? जरा हिंदी में बात करेंगे? हमको English ज़्यादा fluently नहीं आती." So I was shocked. He said that, "Ma'am, I don't understand English." He's an employee of Nippon Paint. So I then had to reproduce the entire presentation in Hindi. I was feeling suffocated because Hindi I can speak, but making a complete presentation in pure Hindi was difficult. But my dear friends, Hindi is very, very essential. It's the people will still debate. I don't know. A lot of my friends are still against me in this. That Hindi is very important. You should learn Hindi, and it's not very difficult. It's just like Malayalam or Telugu. You keep talking to a few of your friends in Hindi, you can understand. Otherwise, it becomes a challenge to work outside Tamil Nadu. You need to learn Hindi. I would definitely encourage you to learn Hindi.
right. Thank you for answering all the questions. We can conclude the session with a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's my privilege to convey my sincere thanks to Ms. Shveta Vishwanath, AGM, Nippon Paint India Private Limited, Chennai. She spent her valuable time with us for sharing her knowledge to motivate the students to achieve new heights. I thank you, madam.
Thank you,
I
sir.
thank our beloved Secretary, E.G.S Group of Institutions, the trustee, the CEO, and the principal who encouraged us to organize this event and made this event a grand success. I thank all the participants who patiently listened during the session and have given enormous support to organize this event. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
See
you.
you all, and all the very best for your future endeavors. See you soon. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.